Hey friends! Well, to kick off our DIY demo week, I thought I would make some hand sanitizer. You've probably seen the recipes floating around. A lot of you have made it yourself. I'm going to talk about some different ways people choose to make it, some different options that you have, and you can choose for yourself what's best for you. I have during this season been actually selling some hand sanitizers to people, and people who work in essential jobs or have to be working with the public and touching surfaces a lot have either been required to use some type of hand sanitizer or just feel more comfortable with that. I haven't personally been using a lot more myself during this time, but I am home for the most part a lot anyway, so I haven't really needed to, but I did think this could be a way I could help people, and it has been really popular. So I'm going to show you the recipe that I have been making for other people, and I'll talk a little bit about this. So I've got here some isopropyl alcohol. I also have some Everclear 190 proof. That's my preference for cleaning and for my own sanitization purposes at home, but it is obviously a lot more expensive than isopropyl alcohol. Right now, isopropyl alcohol, rubbing alcohol, can be difficult to find over the counter. I think it's restocked for the most part in a lot of places, but it was difficult to find for a while. And Everclear 190 proof could be found pretty readily at most liquor stores, so it was actually easier to get a hold of. You will notice if you look at the ingredients in doTERRA's On Guard Sanitizing Mist that they use ethyl alcohol. So it's actually the most natural, cleanest form of alcohol, rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol. It's a little bit controversial if people feel comfortable using that or not on their skin. So I would have preferred to use ethyl alcohol, but there was none available when I was purchasing it. That was sold out. So I had those two options, the isopropyl alcohol or the Everclear. And if someone contacted me to purchase it, I could give them the choice of someone that I know well, but obviously since it's alcohol, I have to be careful about that. I could give it to friends or family or something like that, but if I'm selling it or making it, like I make and take in a public space, whenever we're allowed to do that again, I would use the isopropyl or rubbing alcohol or ethyl alcohol if I could find it. And that is what allows doTERRA's to actually be labeled antiseptic, is because of the alcohol content. The alcohol content has to be, I believe it's 65%. It's either 60 or 65% that the CDC recommends or says that we have to have included in a product for it to technically be called a sanitizer. That does not mean that if you are cleaning surfaces or your hands or something like that in your home, that you necessarily have to use that much alcohol. That would be a personal preference. Many people choose to use the On Guard Cleaner Concentrate or just On Guard with water for spraying surfaces, or On Guard with aloe gel or something like that for their hand sanitizer. I've made hand sanitizers for many, many years, and I have often just used aloe gel, a little bit of witch hazel, and On Guard in a squirt tube, something like this. So this is mostly aloe gel with those other ingredients, a tablespoon or so of witch hazel, which a lot of witch hazel does have alcohol in it. It's not a very high content. I actually try to buy witch hazel that does not have alcohol, so this is an alcohol-free one, but that is another option if you don't want to use the alcohol. We know that On Guard is really, really powerful, and there are some studies you can find for yourself about that I won't specifically reference, about how powerful it is when you're looking at things like germs. So, all right, the recipe is very simple. I'm going to do 2/3 cup alcohol for this particular recipe. 1/3 cup aloe vera gel. I like this because it pours well, the liquid. I shake it up a bit. The lily of the desert. Now you'll notice there's a lot of aloes out there that are green, that have dyes, that have chemical fillers. This one's okay, Fruit of the Earth, the clear one, but there's still some ingredients that might be considered not the cleanest or safest or best. You want the most toxic free that you can find. So really look at the ingredients when you are looking at different aloes to use for this. And so I just want to get this up to the 1 cup mark. And it is still gloopy because it is a gel. If find this one is easier to pour than the other, so I use this mostly for hand sanitizer. I believe I got this from Vitacost, possibly from Amazon, but a lot of times I like to go with Vitacost. It comes just as quickly, typically within a couple days. Sometimes I can get better prices, and there's free shipping when your order's over a certain amount. So, all right, so those two things. And then 5 drops of vitamin E oil. So again, you want to look for the other ingredients when you're looking at vitamin E and see what else is in it, because it is going to have potentially other ingredients to preserve it or keep it in a liquid state. So this one has safflower oil and vitamin E. This one is just straight vitamin E. That's it. So that one is my preference, and I have a little dropper. Does it even fit in there? Yes. And you could do about 1/8 of a teaspoon if you don't have extra droppers lying around like I do. But I'm going to do 1, 2, I didn't even get enough in the dropper there. It's almost out. 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So I got my vitamin E. Set that aside. And then 10 drops of On Guard. And then because you've got that aloe gel in there, I like to whisk it. So take a mini whisk of some type and whisk that all together so that it combines well and you get a nice totally combined substance there. And it will smell very strongly of alcohol, but the nice thing about it is it doesn't dry out your hands because of that aloe and vitamin E. Everyone that has gotten this from me has been so impressed that their hands do not dry out even using it multiple times a day. And the alcohol smell goes away really, really quickly. So that's really nice. So I'm not going to show you, well, I will show you the bottles. So I got these from Aroma Tools, and typically you're going to get the straws way too long because they're meant to fit various sizes of bottles. So I just take the lid and figure out where it would come to on the lip and then kind of pinch it and figure that is where I need to cut it. And it's okay if it bends in there just a little bit, but I like it to be approximately the right length. So I'll fill my little bottles. I have labels here that I pre-printed, very, very simple. Just did that in Canva. And got some waterproof rollerball labels. Do I have the package here? They're called Crinkly is the brand name. Crinkly is spelled with 2 E's. Here they are. So I know someone will ask. Crinkly, I got these on Amazon. Waterproof labels, 200 of them come in here. They are 2 by 1 inch. Waterproof, oil-proof, smudge-proof. Those have worked well for me because we know we're probably going to get oil on our labels. I use them for roller balls as well. So the print will wear off of them before the label wears off. This is a bottle of liquid calm that I had made. The label is still intact. It's been refilled many, many times. The print has worn off because of the type of printer I have, but the label has stayed. So this is what it looks like when it's done, and you just want to give it a little shake because it will separate a little bit with that aloe gel being heavier, and then spray it on surfaces. Of course, if you were making something specifically for surfaces, you don't need the aloe, but you could in a pinch spray this on doorknobs or things like that, as well as on your hands. Let me know if you have any questions about making your own hand sanitizer. I will add that for children, if they have sensitivity to the cinnamon or clove oils, you can use lavender and tea tree instead of On Guard. Some parents prefer to do that.